The expected move right now is about 5%, maybe even a little bit more, 5.3%. And how do I get to that? I look at what's going on with the calls that are trading about at the money. These calls expire on Friday. This is folks that are actually trying to play the earnings itself. If you add these along with the May 33 puts, you're going to come up with about $7. You're looking for about a 7% move, give or take, in the stock. Now, last time they underestimated the move, Scott. They were looking for about a 6% move, maybe even a little bit more, 6.5. They ended up getting close to an 8% move on the earnings last quarter. And if we look, you ask about sentiment as well. The sentiment right now, if you look at the top 10 options that are trading right now, the May 135s by far are the most active. If you actually start to look through that, almost all of those are calls. It's about 2-to-1 calls trading to puts right now. And if you really take a look at some of the expectations going into this, I'll tell you what, they're selling some downside puts. They're buying some upside calls. It tells me that people are getting more and more bullish. Doesn't always mean they're right, but they're expecting a move and a bigger move maybe to the upside.
If you look at the range of expectations, I mean, you know, I've done a straw poll of the industry and clients, et cetera, and some people are expecting less than 10, some people are expecting 100 million. So the real answer is that nobody knows. I look at consensus as being around about 50 million. The way things are going, I would be looking more like about things coming at about 20 million, I think, for the first 12 months, best case. I actually think that would be negative for the share price, obviously, because you would expect it's going to be a nice high gross margin product. People are expecting it to have a reasonable impact, I think, on the on the operating line and the cash flow. So I would expect an earnings miss if my 20 million figure turns out to be right.
Well, there is a united front against Greece at this particular stage from either, the Europeans or the international creditors. So I think that's putting the pressure on Greece. So it probably means that the bargaining power remains on the side of the creditors, despite the fact that Greece does have elements of bargaining, which they have been using and will probably continue using. Our endgame scenario is one of a political resolution in Greece, which takes place under a referendum, whereby the Greek population gets asked as to whether they want to stay in with austerity or not, and to which most of the polls are currently suggesting that they will say yes.
When will that happen?
By June.
By June?
By the end of June.
We'll have that. And it will be initiated by the institutions or by Brussels.
That's right.
Rather than the Greek government.
Yeah, I think that's...